Hey guys, so we're going to be discussing the Big Five personality traits, and these traits describe the basic dimensions of everyone's personality.
Okay, so each of the traits forms a continuum with a spectrum to describe the trait based on your personality. You can fall anywhere on the spectrum, either high or low or in between.
Okay, so the Big Five personality traits can form the acronym OCEAN, which each of these letters stands for openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So we drew some waves in the sun just to represent the ocean.
Okay, so the first one is openness, and this is how open your thinking is. People with high openness are intellectually curious. They love art and science, having new experiences and adventures, appreciate emotion and unique perspectives, and have broad interests. On the other hand, and on the other side of the spectrum, you have closed people, and they are more traditional in their thinking, prefer familiarity, and do not like change, which is why we exited out. And they're also practical and conservative, and we're just drawing here like a paint palette and also a globe just to like kind of represent adventure and their creativity.
So the next trait is conscientiousness, and people who score high in this are typically disciplined, organized, careful, always planning ahead. They're very responsible and have a strong ability to regulate and control their own behaviors. People with low scores on the other side of the spectrum tend to be unorganized, impulsive, and very casual about their responsibilities. So they kind of just let whatever happen. You don't really care that much. So for that drawing, we have someone might get an F if they're low on the spectrum, and then on the other side of the spectrum, they would be very organized and make a lot of checklists.
So next up we have extroversion, and this is which is not how outgoing you are, but what gives you energy. Extroverts are talkative, enthusiastic, sociable, fun-loving, affectionate, and prefer to be with people. And then you have introverts, which would be on the other side of the spectrum, and those are like the polar opposite. They just are very quiet, reserved, private, and prefer to be alone. So for this, we just decided to draw a little mouse because mice tend to be very quiet when sneaking food and such.
So the next trait is agreeableness. And people who score high on this are usually considerate, friendly, helpful, tolerant, accepting. They make sacrifices for other people, and they always assume the best in people, and they assume that people are good people. People on the low side tend to be suspicious of others, distant, uncooperative, guarded, and put their own self-interest in front of others. So for this, we have an old man yelling, "Get off my lawn." So that would be someone who wasn't agreeable, and then a really friendly, approachable person.
So for the last trait, it's neuroticism, and this is basically emotional stability and instability. So those with high scores tend to be prone to negative emotions, easily stressed, tense, and concerned. So a lot of what people are feeling during finals. And then the other side is of the spectrum are calm, collected, rational, and relaxed. So as you can see, someone laying outside the pool, even though it doesn't really look like a person, and then a frantic person.
So in adulthood, these traits tend to be very stable. However, conscientiousness increases most during our 20s, and agreeable increases during our 30s.
Research has shown that roughly 50% for each dimension of the Big Five traits can be attributed to heredity.
So something we can learn from the Big Five traits is that they can actually predict our actual behaviors in the future.
Thanks for watching our video.